welcome back to Morning Thailand. As promised, we'll be reporting the situation at the government house yesterday because normally on Tuesday there will be a cabinet meeting, and that's the time when a lot of people went to the government house voicing their concerns and also asking for solution from the cabinet. And yesterday as well, earlier in the morning, around 200 members of the Organization of School Union Employees and also the Organization of Basic Education Commissions or OBEC staff have submitted a letter to Kun Chaturonchai, the Education Minister, asking the government to consider the adjustment to their salary base in order to cope with the rising cost of living these days, obviously, because earlier the government, the Pheu Thai party, had promised that they will adjust the salary base for government staff and also employees to 15,000 baht for those with bachelor's degrees and also 9,000 for people under the bachelor's degrees. However, it seems that some of them have not been given such amount yet.
No, not yet. A lot of them actually.
Because they said that some of them were the temporary staff on their short-term contract, not a permanent government official. Therefore, they had not been covered in such measures of the government. So Kun Withapong, the core leader of the group, said that now OBEC is facing a hurdle in withdrawing the budget to pay for its staff because the government's resolution cover only those with the permanent contract with the organization. So they have no way to find the money or the budget to pay for their staff. So they're asking the cabinet to consider the resolution to adjust the salary rise of 15,000 baht for people as promised, even though they are temporary or permanent staff. They said that a lot of people believe the government's promise and they even quit their former job with 20,000 or just 30,000 baht salary in order to
get the 15?
Yes, to get the 15 because they want to. It's better
to get like all the services and such, right? Right, because obviously if you get to work with the government, system as a civil servant, you get in a long term
run,
anyway.
Yes. And therefore, they're asking Kun Chaturonchai and also the Prime Minister Kun Cha-uat to consider allocating additional budget for them. And they're asking for the solution by this month. They said that they will follow up on the progress or else they will intensify the protest. So, one more protest going on.
Yeah, but it is understandable due to the fact that don't forget, after a lot of policies that have came up in terms of 300 baht wage onward, it seems like a lot of good prices has increased. Right? So
definitely.
You ended up with no longer be able to afford with such amount of money anymore. So, well, hopefully this is going to resolve soon because obviously we're still on another mob that's still ongoing. I reported about it yesterday that there has been burning of in the beginning of the week. Burning of tires as well as cars. 11 cars altogether. And of course, at this point, the reporters were not allowed in the area anymore because the protesters weren't really happy due to the fact that Thai PBS was actually taping the whole thing. The protesters, a few of them actually took the camera and destroyed it, also burning the car itself of the station vehicles. Now, at this point, it seems like the problem might be a little bit, it quiet down a bit. However, we add another character in, and this is Pukong Pukem. We have heard of him before. He's
familiar faces during protests.
Exactly. He's former military man. Kun Songklod Chun Chu Pon. Of course, he have been in the protest scene a lot. It seems like that's, he always wear one of those camouflage military uniform and such. However, at this time, he actually went in the air area yesterday and actually start asking all the protesters about the car itself. One of the car, actually, the protesters claim that it was the person that burned it wasn't the protesters, but it was a policeman who actually somehow burned down that particular vehicle. So Kun Songkrot, ผู้กองปูเข็ม of course said that today at about 1 o'clock they will help him or he will help them, either or, to take this particular vehicle onto a trailer and they will take it to the Cha-uat police station and to leave it there to show the police that this is the result of one of their own that has burned it down. So after he said that, a lot of sharing, a lot of people say that yes, they're going to be there and such. So it seems like the protesters probably get a little bit of a boost from ผู้กองปูเข็ม and they say that the reporter said that ผู้กองปูเข็ม later on came out and talked to the reporter and said that he was there to actually become to volunteer himself as a core leader of this whole movement because he said that it seemed some of the leaders that were there at the scene before kind of left the other protesters behind. So he would like to take that post. As to confirm whether or not he actually is the core leader, that has not been said. Obviously, there's a lot of people involved in this particular situation anyway. Now, apart from that, the Prime Minister, obviously, after having her meeting yesterday, has came out and talked to the reporter after the reporter asking what would be done, whether or not there would be an implementation of emergency law or the ISA and such. The Prime Minister said that at this point, the police probably have it under control. However, she urged the police to use not to use violence against the protesters, to actually try to negotiate and talk it out and be patient and make sure that everything is done according to the law. Now, the Prime Minister also said that urging the media to produce information that are truth and that would not imply to instigate even more violence on either side because at this point the governments are trying their best to resolve the problem. However, it's going to be a long process obviously involving a lot of negotiation. So at this point for now it seems like the situation in the area is still not quiet down and the protesters still have the Kwan Nong Hong intersection under their siege. So if you do not pass through the area, you probably know that by now, plus the logistic system obviously is shut down as well. So it's going to affect a lot of other areas. Hopefully the government will be able to find some solution to this soon because if it's prolonged, I think it will hurt the economy and the country as a whole more than actually gaining. All right.
Okay, there's also resolution from the cabinet meeting as well yesterday concerning the reparation of the rail system, Kunkov, because recently there's been reports of a lot of rail accident.
Oh, a lot.
Since the beginning of this year.
Exactly.
Right? And the latest one was really severe. So yesterday, cabinet has already approved the budget of 2.4 billion baht for the railway system. The railway minister to repair the rail system throughout the country, and also they have extended the term of the diesel excise tax reduction of 0.005 baht per liter for another month. There's two issues here. First of all, Kun Yingluck Shinawatra has supported the transport minister to investigate and also to look after the rail system services throughout the country, especially the old one that has been worn out or risky area that might have probably locating in the risky location, like mountains or the bridge that crossed the river.
Because obviously those would be even more difficult to repair at this point. But don't forget, we started the rail system probably at the same time as Japanese, and we still use whatever we have been using since that time, and it has been it seems like we're not repairing it before it's actually gotten bad. We always do it after it's
Yes.
turned bad. So
Yes, of course.
that's always more difficult.
And moreover, the cabinet has already approved the 20 billion baht on loan for the BMTA, the Bangkok Mass Transit Authority, for them to pay for their debt and also to repair their system as well. And yesterday, Kun Prapat Chong-sungwon, the Deputy Director General of the Railway Services, have held a meeting with related agencies and ordered them to investigate the
Right.
rail system, especially in the northern part of Thailand, where accident usually occurs.
Very,
Well.
very sad, most definitely. All right, so moving on to another sad news to report is the fact that a lot of, obviously, we're talking about the rubber farmers protesting, but the cost that stem from that is the fact that the rice pledging scheme seems to help a lot of rice farmers, and obviously the rubber farmers feel a little bit left out, and they would like to voice their concerns that they too are in trouble. So to help one and not the other would be a problem. However, at this point, it seems like problems is still ongoing due to the fact that the rice farmers actually, a few of them came out, especially in Ang-thong area, and said that they did not receive the 15,000 baht per tons that was promised to them in the rice pledging scheme, because they say that when they sell it, they did not get the 15,000 baht per ton. What they got is less than 10,000 baht.
Oh my God.
So don't forget, they're always one of those a little qualifications and underlines and such in the contract itself, and you have to have the moisture level of less than whatever. However, obviously most of the rice, when they try to sell it to the rice pledging scheme on time, some of them have to harvest it a little bit earlier than it's supposed to, hence the lower quality, hence less money. That's always a problem. But then the farmer feel like their hands are tied due to the fact that they would like the government to, do the rice pledging scheme project twice a year, but do not do not limit on what day. So don't say that they're gonna do it during this month and such, because they say that some of the farmers are not ready by that time. So they were asking the government to perhaps do not fix the date or the month. And they say that at this point, they went into Ang-thong Municipal Center and gave the provincial governor, Kun Wisawat Samit, who's the provincial governor of Ang-thong province, to actually take the letter voicing their concern. However, Kun Yingluck our Prime Minister was talking about the fact that she would like to showcase that the rice growing here in Thailand should focus on the quality rather than the quantity, because she said that at this point, if the farmers have to plant their rice in quantity, then the quality will be less. But if they plant the rice with good quality, and invest a little bit more, then at least if there's flooding and such, they still could change into do something else, like planting something or perhaps fishing and such. Obviously, a lot of people might not agree with that, but that's the Prime Minister's trying to voice her concern and say that at this point, she has given the Commerce Minister to look into this particular case, whether or not they could continue the rice pledging scheme, because obviously it's going to take a lot more money and for this particular time. And she also requested that the farmers be a little bit more patient, because the government currently is working on the issue, so hopefully they will resolve soon and be able to help them.
Yes, hopefully. Well, just wrapping up this section here, a quick report pretty much a warning.
Okay.
Because yesterday, September the 19th, if you follow politics closely, you remember it's the anniversary of the coup d'etat that happened 7 years ago, the coup that toppled Kun Thaksin Shinawat.
Right,
And a lot of critics and academics said that that was the beginning, the very beginning of political problems here in Thailand.
So on the 19th tomorrow.
Yes.
Right? Okay. Oh, okay.
And some activities have been planned, especially in the northern part. In provinces, a lot of red shirts people in provinces have already planned a gathering in order to commemorate this special event. And in Bangkok, a lot of activities will be held as well. Kun Sudha Rangkupan, professor of Faculty of Arts, Chulalongkorn University, she's the co-leader of the Patinya Nasan group and revealed that tomorrow they will hold an activity, an event in front of the parliament starting at 1 p.m. in order to remember the cruelty of the coup d'etat.
I see.
And they said that that's the event on that night.
So it's not a protest per se, it's more
No.
like a gathering. So
Commemoration.
obviously it's not going to be violence, it's just going to be traffic congestion.
Probably traffic congestion might be
Right.
the case. However, they said, she said that the coup d'etat on that day was the cause of the problem that led to the political gathering and also
Right.
the dispersal
Of
the blackmail incident
Right.
2 years ago under Kun Abhisit Vechachiwa's administration, where almost 100 people were killed and around 2,000 were injured. More than 1,800 were arrested and also 1,700 persecuted. So that was probably going to be the very beginning of the political
well,
massacre.
right. But the thing is, it happened way before that. Because if the red shirt's gonna gather, then the yellow shirt's gonna come out as well.
Yeah.
It seems like we have been in political deadlock for quite a while. It's not a deadlock per se. We do move forward, but in a very slow way. It's almost like one of those dancing scene where you two step forward and then you take one step back and then it's very slow. I would like to think that we're moving forward, but it seems like the situation right now is just not very good at all.
So I think a lot of people will be there at the parliament, so avoid the route at Ratchadamnern Avenue and also see Ayutthaya Road. However, people in the heart of the capital, rest yourself, because at 6 p.m. onwards at Ratchaprasong intersection, the very beginning, the gathering site of the red shirt protest 2 years ago, there will be an event as well of the democracy 24th of June. They will hold a gathering and the remembrance of the coup d'etat 7 years ago as well, starting at 6 p.m. So traffic might be horrible.
Oh, goodness me. More horrible than you are, facing right now. That's the worst part, because plus the rain, that's what happened. All right, let's take a short break. We have political updates, including the fact that there will be asking the dissolve of 6 parties, and Kun Phai will talking about the election commissions and whether or not they're going to take the case of trying to, what was that again, Kun Wichet?
Yes.
Right, to get involved in money stuff. So please stay tuned.